Welcome back to Marcus at Work Media. So we got K-Dot and SZA touchdown in London. The UK ain't got nothing but love for a grand national tour. Right off the bat, UK and London is showing love. They did the usual set, whacked out mural, Not Like Us, Squabble Up, you know, the classics in the GNX. And let's not forget he went back and did DNA. And the crowd had to sing along, they knew every word.
If you thought Kendrick Lamar was going to come to North London and I wasn't going to go, you got another thing coming, mate. You got another thing coming, bro.
A few moments later.
Here's a little bit of the reincarnated setup. Always a crowd favorite. Love that song. Over to SZA did Broken Clocks. Nice. Scorsy Baby Daddy. You know. And of course, she took off with the butterfly and all the usual.
Very bizarre. It happened to you.
Now, since they were in London, they had to hold up the London flag. So one of the fans ended up giving her a flag, a London flag, with her picture on it. And they held it up for the audience and let everybody know.
Can we do one more for y'all?
Now, during this section, they did that, but they also signed some merch in between songs. So here's a little bit of that.
We love y'all.
Yeah, gotta take time out to show love back. Now, K-Dot being the savage, he's signing stuff and not skipping the beat with the song. Still in with every bar. He's that guy. Now, they had a featured dancer, Kidda the Great, a known hip-hop dancer. He was with the set and then had a little solo section where he went crazy on. SZA going ham with her dancers, holding her up, spinning around, you know, the usual. Now look at that crowd. So many people in that crowd. And the pit was wild, bro. Them boys was crazy down there. That energy was insane. They was ready. Now we have two reviews. So this time we had a review by a longtime Kendrick fan, but first time to a Kendrick concert. So of course, she was in for a treat. Now, she will say she wasn't there so much for SZA, but enjoyed her set, but she was there for K-Dot. Let's hear what she got to say about her first concert experience as a longtime fan.
I went to night one of the Kendrick and SZA tour in London and I had the best time. I've been a fan of Kendrick since I was 13 or 14, and that was my first time seeing him, and he was brilliant, like literally lived up to every expectation I had. But I will preface this review by saying I went to that show to see Kendrick, and I feel like depending on who you went to see at that show really impacted what you thought of it and how you experienced it. Like you could even get the sense in the crowd, there were people who were equal fans of Kendrick and SZA. Some people just came for Kendrick, some people just came for SZA. I personally was only there for Kendrick. I'm gonna start off with all the things I loved. Kendrick sounds exactly like the track. In fact, even better. There's like the clarity, the diction, and like he's so animated and theatrical with his delivery and like his inflections and cadence and stuff like that. And you actually hear all of that on stage. So it literally feels like you're watching, obviously you're watching a show, but it kind of feels like you're watching a play unfold with all these different characters depending on like the verse that he's delivering. So that in itself, I was just in awe. I said to myself, oh my gosh, the breath control is insane. And he had the same energy from start to finish. The dances were incredible. Like they were honestly amazing. Like they felt super intentional. They didn't feel decorative or like props or superfluous. Like they actually served a purpose throughout the show. And the dancers felt a bit army-like, not in their choreography or delivery, but just kind of their placement on stage. It reminded me of the Super Bowl 2022 performance, which was like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and like Kendrick has a segment within that halftime show. There's a point in the show where Kendrick is surrounded by all these beautiful dark-skinned women, and it just visually, it looks amazing. And one of them has a Kai Collective top on, which I thought was like, this doesn't feel accidental. This feels like intentional, that they said, okay, cool, we're going to put her on some Kai because they're going to be in London. Like, I just love those little elements. Even though this is the GNX tour, he still did stuff from Good Kid, Mad City to Pimp a Butterfly, like everything that you wanted to hear. And I think that was great for me because, as I said, that was my first time seeing Kendrick. I love Good Kid, Mad City, and those are cool songs that I want to hear. So he did this amazing a cappella version of Swimming Pools that just sounded like you could literally hear a pin drop as he was rapping. Delivery was insane. And then he did a really cool mashup of Mad City and Anita Baker's Sweet Love. Sounded beautiful. As I said at the beginning of the video, I very much went to that show for Kendrick. I'm a big Kendrick fan. I'm not the biggest fan of SZA, but I still really enjoyed her performance and I knew a lot of the songs. But what I will say, sometimes the set flowed like, it didn't really flow that well and it felt quite disjointed because depending on which artist you went to see, they'd do about 4 or 5 songs, you'd really get into their catalogue, and then suddenly they would swap over and it'd just be a bit like, just teething back and forth. And granted, they do have quite a few songs together, but it just kind of felt this like the baton was constantly going between them, so you couldn't really sit and get into it. And I think what would have been sick for me, if obviously Kendrick opens and he did 4 or 5 songs and then SZA came out for 30 for 30. If it had been the case that SZA came out for 30 for 30 and then she did all of her songs and she did all of her songs, and then they've had this like mid-concert like big moment with doing all the stars, and then at that point Kendrick then takes over, because then you still kind of have this chopping and changing, but it's less of a disruptive one where it's like constantly back and forth. Stage production was so cool, and the visuals that you see throughout the show are beautiful. Like they're so engaging, like they're so like immersive. It's just gorgeous. Also, I could have shed a tear when he did Dodger Blue. That is literally one of my favourite songs of GNX. I think that song is so beautiful. It's so like it's entrancing, it's pensive, and honestly, like I've spent some time in LA, and every time I go to the city I'm like, oh, I love it here. If someone was like to me, what does LA feel and sound like, that would be one of the songs. Beautiful. And on the point of LA, the show definitely feels like a love letter to LA, Black American culture, and it very much chronicles Kendrick's life up until this point, and Black American culture and being from LA are like big pillars of his life. This is such a hyper-local show, but not hyper-local in the fact that it's like you can't engage with it, but I was just thinking to myself, wow, there are so many elements and influences that I'm just not going to get, I'm completely going to miss because I'm not Black American and I'm not from LA. And this isn't me saying that if you're not African American or from LA that you can't go to the show and enjoy it. No, because I had the best time. However, like that is the culture that the show is like underpinned by, and who I think he like curated the show for.
Now, she felt like it represented LA. Like he brought LA to London. In the set, in the show, in all the performances, the whole tour vibe was LA, which she appreciated. Now, she also said Dodger Blue definitely got that vibe she liked from LA. I'm sure a lot of people can identify. And she also said Kendrick live sounds exactly like the studio version. Now, there's not a lot of artists, especially rappers, that you hear them live and they sound just like the recording without tons of backtrack. But K-Dot, no backtrack, every bar in sounds exactly like the studio, which people automatically always commend his breath control to be able to do that. Move around, go with the dancers, get in there with SZA, come back out and still keep an even tone with the bars, just like the studio version. That's respect. Now, of course, in London, they got so much love out there for the team. They had to chant. They had to show Kendrick what's up. They know other European stop is going to out-chant them. They had to get in there. Now we had another slight review too, not the normal demographic, even though Kendrick is universal, but this is not necessarily melanated folk, but this is more the white folk, man. Let's see what they got to say about their time at the K-Dot and SZA show.
Hello, skipping across the road because it's time to do a concert review for GNX Tour. My voice is literally gone. I'm so dehydrated and I can't wait for some food and water, I can't lie. Phenomenal. I'm so glad I went. I'm not gonna lie, like me and my friend who I went with, we were both kind of having regrets about going because we were like, it was like 120 quid for the nosebleed seats. Like literally we were like 3 rows from the back of the Tottenham Stadium. Like it was ridiculous. More expensive than the Taylor Swift tour. Yeah, you had me right, you did. Anyway, and I was kind of like, why did I spend money on this? Because I don't listen to SZA and I dabble in Kendrick. Not like I dabble, like I rinsed GNX when that album came out. Like I love that album to death. Anyway, we both really having regrets. Like, why did we pay this much money for a concert we're not actually that invested in? As soon as we got through like the first couple songs of Kendrick's set, we were like, thank God we came and thank God we got tickets because this is unbelievable. Like, I can't even explain to you guys, like the set, the lighting, the stage, the choreography, obviously the performance, the delivery, the vocals, everything was so tight and so fantastic. Like, I just feel, both me and my friend, like, we feel so privileged that we're literally seeing like a generational artist right now. Like, Kendrick is, you can't like he's a goat, like he's goated, like he's one of the best rap artists I would say like we've ever seen. And I know nothing about rap, okay, and I am biased, but I just think he's so tight in everything he does. Like his choreography was sick, his presence was sick, his delivery was sick, like he was just phenomenal. My house is just there, but I'm not done yet, so I'm just gonna keep walking. I've done a podcast episode on SZA, so I know what her anxiety's like. Like I know that she low-key just has stage fright and hates it. Like she hates the attention and the fame, and she just looked so comfortable on stage and she delivered so well, such a high energy performance. I just have so much respect for her for doing that and also sounding fantastic and looking unreal. Oh my God, can we talk about how unreal SZA looked? She looked like a goddess. Oh my God, I was low-key crushing on both of them. Like Kendrick would come on stage and I'd be like, a fine man. SZA would come on stage and I'd be like, a fine woman. Like both were just on top form. Like,
so it sounds like she enjoyed herself. Pleasant surprise. The setup was nice, the lighting was nice, the cadence was nice, the dancers did their thing, the light show, all the stage performances, the switch off, everything lined up. They walked away with another fan, man. That's what they doing. Every city stop, they just picking up fans along the way. The more people build about the show, the more people want to go. And they did 2 nights out there. And both nights are sold out, of course. Now, what's the capacity out there? Now, the capacity at the stadium out there was 62,850 people. Now, let's say the configuration, they knocked off about 2,000-3,000. Let's give it an even 60,000 in the building for 2 nights, 120 out the door. Come on. Meanwhile, Drizzy having difficulty selling $20 tickets overseas. Come on now. If you showed up to the first night or the second night in London, put your comments below. Let's talk about it. This is Marcus at Work Media, and I'm out this bitch.